What would happen if a single president turned the lifelines of entire neighbors into weapons of commerce? Imagine the clang of steel cabinets opening, paper rustling as tariffs are inked, the bitter smell of tension hanging over Ottawa and Washington like a storm-clouded perfume. Donald Trump announced 25% duties on Canada and Mexico, while China faced levies ranging from 10 to 60%. He then lifted the Canada-Mexico measures, setting a self-imposed March 4 deadline for a new wave. The world watched, breath held, as the clock ticked toward that fateful sunrise. Earlier we uncovered the looming deadline and the growing unease in Canada. Ottawa, feeling the heat, reached beyond its borders, whispering to the European Union and even to China, seeking a shield against the looming tax burden that would eat more than half of an average Canadian's import bill. Rumors swirled of plans to reroute liquefied natural gas toward Beijing, yet the true aim lay in tightening European ties, not merely in a trade swap. As the March date loomed, officials braced for the impact, wondering, could a partnership with an unexpected ally soften the blow? The answer hovered just out of reach, waiting for the next move. Now the spotlight shifts to Italy, a long-standing player in Canada's food arena. Italian vineyards, olive groves, and pasta makers have already claimed a solid foothold, delivering $1.5 billion of agri-food products, enough to outrank France and sit just behind the United States and Mexico. The comprehensive economic and trade agreement, still in provisional force, has peeled away customs barriers, allowing more Italian cheese, wine, and rice to glide across the border. If Ottawa diversifies its supply chain, these Italian delights could flood the market, granting Canada a fresh source while granting Italy a stronger foothold. Could this culinary alliance become the quiet antidote to a tariff-driven conflict? The next chapter hints at a surprise twist. The final act reveals a broader strategy that stretches beyond plates and pipelines. Italy and Canada are mapping a joint roadmap, weaving cooperation across critical minerals, semiconductors, aerospace, clean energy tech, and life sciences. Mutual information platforms and matchmaking events, launched late last year, aim to link small and medium enterprises on both sides. Together they pursue sustainable growth, climate goals, and even joint cybersecurity initiatives, while quietly sidestepping Washington's protective stance. As diplomatic dialogues deepen, a question lingers in the corridors of power: will this transatlantic bridge finally eclipse the tariff war, or will new tensions emerge from the very alliances forged to avoid them? The answer remains hidden, waiting for the next pulse of negotiation. A sudden tariff clash. The United States announced a sweeping 25% duty on Canadian and Mexican goods, while Chinese imports faced rates up to 60%. The announcement sent shockwaves through global markets, rattling factories and sowing panic among traders. How will everyday consumers feel the sting? Will the price tags on bread, gasoline, and smartphones skyrocket overnight? The answer lies far north, where a quiet powerhouse prepares to step into the breach. Previously we explored the abrupt U.S. tariffs that threatened to upend North American trade. Now Italy, long a culinary titan, eyes the Canadian food scene as a safe harbor. Italian agri-food exports already rank third after the United States and Mexico, worth about $1.5 billion, even eclipsing France. Thanks to a provisional economic and trade accord that trims customs barriers, Italian cheese, pasta, wine and olive oil glide more freely across the border. If Ottawa diversifies its supply chain, will Made in Italy labels become the new norm on Canadian shelves? The market awaits a decisive shift. Previously we saw Italy's growing foothold in Canada's grocery aisles. The next chapter asks whether Canadian policymakers will lean on Italian goods to blunt the impact of a possible retaliatory tariff on U.S. food imports. Packaged foods, wine, cheese, yogurt, rice and pasta show export shares that rival American numbers, hinting at untapped potential. Could a strategic partnership between Rome and Ottawa mask the bruises of an American trade war, reshaping North American commerce for years to come? The future of the continent's plates hangs in the balance. As tensions simmer in the world of trade, Italy is seizing a golden opportunity in Canada. The ongoing trade war, driven by heavy tariffs imposed by the United States, has created an unstable landscape. Meanwhile, Italy finds itself strategically positioned, ready to step in where American goods once reigned. Italy's presence in the Canadian market has been growing, especially in sectors like packaged food and beverages. Despite a lower share of intermediates and unpackaged products, Italy is seeing an impressive rise in exports. Recent data highlights this surge, particularly in alcoholic beverages. Since the 2017 Comprehensive Economic and Trade Agreement took effect, Italian wine has gained popularity, an unmistakable sign of quality recognized by Canadian consumers. This trade dynamic shifts during crises such as Trump's tariff policies. Italy could capitalize on the rift between Canada and the United States, exploiting these tensions to bolster its market presence. The opportunity is ripe. Italian firms are now contemplating new markets beyond America, strengthening bonds with Canada as they seek out alternatives. But what does this growing partnership mean for the future? The roadmap for cooperation between Italy and Canada signifies more than mere trade. It illustrates a commitment to joining forces against global challenges. As we delve into this economic alliance, we'll explore not only the trade balances but also how innovative sectors like critical minerals and clean energy could provide immense opportunities. With both nations looking toward collaboration, the prospect of shared benefits is immense. They are united through small and medium-sized enterprises that serve as the backbone of their economies. This burgeoning partnership is not just about profits. It's about creating a harmonious relationship that thrives on mutual assistance. So, what lies around the corner for Canada and Italy? Will this alliance hold strong amidst the clamor of global trade shifts? Keep watching as we uncover the intricate layers of this rapidly evolving narrative, leading us to a surprising conclusion that could change the landscape for both countries forever. Previously, we explored how Italy and Canada have built a solid foundation of trade and investment, their economies perfectly complementing each other, especially through the strength of small and medium-sized enterprises. But now, a groundbreaking chapter unfolds. Imagine sectors so critical, so advanced, they could reshape global landscapes: critical minerals, semiconductors, aerospace, electric mobility, clean energy technologies, and life sciences. This is where Italy and Canada are setting their sights, aiming not just to maintain but to deepen their collaboration. Unlike traditional alliances, these two nations are pioneering new paths to boost trade and investment. What if the sharing of insider knowledge among institutional investors became the catalyst for explosive growth? Through initiatives like the business matchmaking platform launched in Canada during November 2023, hundreds of Italian and Canadian companies are connecting in ways no one expected. Could this be the key to unlocking hidden potential? But the story doesn't stop there. Italy and Canada are not merely focused on their own growth. Together with their African partners, they are steering an ambitious mission, driving sustainable development goals by 2030, fostering peace, prosperity, and inclusive growth across the African continent. Picture initiatives strengthening food systems, expanding access to quality education and healthcare, securing energy, and upgrading both physical and digital infrastructure. This vision echoes Italy's ambitious plan for Africa, turning lofty ideals into tangible action. Surprisingly, the collaboration extends beyond trade and development. The two countries are coordinating through development finance institutions, like CAD Deposit SD and FEV Canada, with a remarkable €150 million lending facility fueling private sector growth in West Africa. But why does this matter? Because it signals a shift where international partnerships become lifelines for entire regions. And in the shadow of defense and security challenges, Italy and Canada stand shoulder to shoulder, leveraging the strong bond between Canada and the European Union. Their joint efforts ripple into crucial areas such as cybersecurity and the rapidly evolving nexus between climate and security. Far from being distant allies, their collaboration includes cooperation in NATO's Forward Land Forces Battle Group in Latvia and shared work at the Climate Change and Security Center of Excellence in Montreal. Can you hear the alert signals of the future? It's a sound of growing unity in a fractured world. How does this alliance redefine global patterns? What else lurks beneath the surface of these partnerships? The answer lies ahead, where history and innovation collide, creating a future no one saw coming. Previously, we saw how Canada and Italy bolster their cooperation through Group of Seven partners, strengthening ties in finance and security. Now, their alliance extends deeper, reaching into critical arenas like cyber defense and climate security. But how far does this partnership truly stretch? And what dangers lurk in the shadows of these collaborative efforts? Picture the quiet hum inside a high-tech control room, screens flicker under dimmed lights, each alert sharper than the last. Italy and Canada have joined forces to protect not only their own cyber frontiers, but also to set global standards for responsible conduct in cyberspace. This isn't just about fending off hackers, it's about creating a foundational code of behavior for nations, reducing vulnerabilities, and shoring up defenses against an unseen enemy. Their work extends to a cutting-edge mechanism within the Group of Seven, a rapid response system designed to track and neutralize threats fueled by artificial intelligence. Imagine algorithms identifying foreign manipulation, disinformation campaigns targeting vulnerable populations, every breach a potential crisis. Italy and Canada, united, stand vigilant against these digital invasions, their cooperation growing as these threats evolve and stretch across borders. But the alliance is not just about defense, it's about trust. Their solidarity also binds them in the fight against organized crime. Backed by a memorandum connecting Italy's Ministry of the Interior with Canada's Royal Mounted Police, along with legal agreements for judicial assistance and extradition, the two nations reinforce shared commitments to law enforcement. This collaboration spans international platforms such as Interpol and Europol, tightening the net on transnational criminals. Yet, in all these concerted efforts, energy policy remains a cornerstone. Italy and Canada, passionate about clean, renewable technologies, invest heavily into advancing sustainable energy. Their partnership fuels progress toward climate goals set at landmark summits. Together, they drive innovations that promise greater energy security while supporting biodiversity and environmental preservation. This synergy reflects their dedication to global stability and prosperity. But what hidden challenges could derail this ambitious cooperation? How will these intertwined strategies play out on the turbulent world stage? The journey of their alliance continues, deeper into complexities where cybersecurity, energy, and justice collide, in a race against threats that grow faster than ever imagined. A sudden twist in global commerce has left analysts stunned. What if the very tariffs meant to crush a neighbor instead forged a new partnership? President Trump's 25% levy on Canada and Mexico, plus steep duties on Chinese goods, sent shockwaves through markets. The deadline of March 4th loomed, and every newspaper warned of chaos. Yet, as Washington tightened its grip, a quiet broker emerged from the Mediterranean, eyeing the gap left behind. Canada, wary of soaring costs, began scouting alternative allies, and Italy's chambers whispered of opportunity. The question now hangs in the air: will Italy step into the void created by Washington, or will the fragile bridge collapse under the weight of geopolitical pressure? Last segment revealed the tariff showdown that reshaped North American trade. Now, imagine the crisp alpine air over Turin mingling with the salty breeze from the Great Lakes. Italy and Canada are joining forces to keep the 1.5 degrees Celsius target within reach. Both nations push the clean energy transition, driving away coal with the Powering Past Coal Alliance. In the first half of the 2030s, they will retire coal plants, hearing the distant hum of silent turbines. Critical minerals, glimmering like raw diamonds, are essential for climate goals. Italy eyes the Sustainable Critical Minerals Alliance, promising joint labs and shared data, the faint scent of polished metal filling conference rooms. Hydrogen, the promising fuel, bubbles in labs. A new memorandum between Italian and Canadian hydrogen groups promises market advantages, the faint hiss of fuel cells echoing in the background. Sustainable biofuels also enter the scene, aiming to quiet the roar of heavy industry, aircraft, and shipping. Multilateral forums, IAEA bioenergy programs, the Global Bioenergy Partnership, and the Clean Energy Ministerial, bind the two nations in a network of cooperation. Carbon management technologies flicker on screens, promising a path to net zero emissions. As these initiatives converge, a lingering doubt remains: can this transatlantic alliance truly redirect the world's energy destiny, or will hidden challenges derail the ambitious blueprint? As we delve into the complexities of global trade, we see how the imposing tariffs from the United States have created an unexpected landscape for international relations, particularly between Canada and Italy. This newfound tension has forged a remarkable bond that could redefine commerce and strategy in North America and beyond. The situation escalated when President Donald Trump announced substantial tariffs on imports from Canada and Mexico, alongside staggering rates for China. Rumors swirled about March 4 as a pivotal deadline, invoking anxiety within Canada. Could this pressure be the catalyst for transforming alliances and international trade? In response to these tariffs, Canada sought alternative partnerships. Interestingly, it turned to Italy, a nation with a growing foothold in the Canadian market, particularly in the food sector. Was Canada willing to sacrifice its long-standing ties with the United States for a new alliance? The stakes soared. Italy has positioned itself as a potential key supplier, especially in the food industry, which raised eyebrows across the globe. As trade relationships shifted, Italy's agricultural exports to Canada surged to an impressive $1.5 billion, overtaking even France. This pivot might allow Canada to diversify its supply chains while reducing its reliance on the U.S. Could Italy, with its rich culinary heritage, fill the void left by American trade restrictions? If Canada imposed tariffs against the U.S., how would Italy leverage its established presence? The comprehensive economic and trade agreement has already bolstered Italy's market position. As global trade dynamics become increasingly volatile, Italian businesses could capitalize on these tensions to their advantage, creating a lifeline for Canadian consumers eager for diversification. By 2024, the Canadian food industry revealed promising insights. While Italy's share of unprocessed food exports to Canada remained modest, the packaged goods sector was poised for explosive growth. Imagine the aromas of rich cheeses, savory oils, and exquisite wines filling the shelves of Canadian markets. Could the vibrant Italian presence replace American goods entirely? Then came a twist. Amid growing cooperation between Canada and Italy, a roadmap for enhanced collaboration emerged. This agreement set the stage for tackling global challenges together, such as climate change and energy security. The stakes in this diplomatic dance skyrocketed. Could the bond between the two nations not only strengthen the economy but also redefine their roles on the global stage? As both countries navigate the complexities of trade and investment, their potential for growth in critical sectors like energy, technology, and agriculture became more apparent. The intertwining economies hinted at a partnership that could weather the storms cast by the United States tariffs. But as dialogue flowed and agreements formed, who truly held the upper hand in this geopolitical game? In a dramatic conclusion, what if the alliance between Canada and Italy transcended trade and evolved into something more profound, ties built not just on economic necessity, but a shared vision for a sustainable future? Will Canada's strategic pivot to Italy not only avert the impending tariffs but also ignite a renaissance of cooperation closely knitted with a sense of mutual respect and ambition? The future is unfolding, and the world watches closely.